Eat that frog. Chapter 4. Consider the consequence. Every man has become great. Every successful man has succeeded in proportion as he has confined his powers to one particular channel. Horizon Sweet Martin. The mark of the superior thinker is his or her ability to accurately predict the consequence of doing or not doing something. The potential consequence of any task or activity are the key determinants of how important it really is to you and to your company. This way of evaluating the significance of a task is how you determine what your next frog really is. Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University, after more than 50 years of research, concluded that long-time perspective is the most accurate single predictor of outward social and economic mobility in America. Long-time perspective turns out to be more important than family background, education, race, intelligence, connections, or virtually any other single factor in determining your success in life and at work. Your attitude toward time, your time horizon, has an enormous impact on your behavior and your choice. People who take the long view of their lives and careers always seem to make much better decisions about their time and activities than people who give very little thought to the future. Rule. Long-term thinking improves short-term decision-making. Successful people have a clear future orientation. They think 5, 10, and 20 years out into the future. They analyze their choice and behaviors in the present to make sure that what they are doing today is consistent with the long-term future that they desire. Make better decisions about time in your work. Having a clear idea of what is really important to you in the long term makes it much easier for you to make better decisions about your priorities in the short term. By definition, something that is important has long-term potential consequence. Something that is important has few or no long-term potential consequence. Before starting on anything, you should always ask yourself, what are the potential consequences of doing or not doing this task? Rule. Future intent influences and often determines present actions. The clearer you are about your future intentions, the greater influence that clarity will have on what you do in the moment. With a clear long-term vision, you are much more capable of evaluating an activity in the present and to assure that is the consistent with where you truly want to end up. Think about the long term. Successful people are those who are willing to delay the ratification and make sacrifice in the short term so that they can enjoy for greater rewards in the long term. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, think more about short-term pleasure in immediate gratification, while giving little thought to the long-term future. Dennis Watley, the motivational speaker, says, failures do what is tension relieving, while winners do what is goal achieving. For example, coming to work earlier, reading regularly in your field, taking course to improve your skills, and focusing on high value tasks in your work will all combine to have an enormous positive impact on your future. On the other hand, coming into work at the last moment, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee, and socializing and with your co-workers may seem fun and enjoyable in the short term, but inevitably leads to lack of promotion, underachievement, and frustration in the long term. If there is task or activity with large potential positive consequence, make it a top priority and get started on it immediately. there is something that can have large potential negative consequence if it is not done quickly and well, that becomes a top priority as well. Whatever your work is resolved to put it down first thing. Motivation requires motive. The greater the positive potential impact that an action of or behavior of yours can have on your life. Once you define it clearly, the more motivated you will be to overcome procrastination and get it done quickly. Keep yourself focused and forward moving by continually starting and completing those tasks that can make a major difference to your company and your future. Remember, the time is going to pass anyway. The only question is how you use it and where you are going to end up at the end of the weeks and months. And where you end up is largely a matter of the amount of consideration you give to the likely consequence on your actions in the short term. Thinking continually about the potential consequence of your choice, decisions, and behaviors is one of the very best ways to determine your true priorities in your work and personal life. Obey the law of forced efficiency. This law says that there is never enough time to do everything, but there is always enough time to do the most important thing. Put another way, you cannot eat every tadpole and frog in the pond, but you can't eat the biggest and ugliest one, and it will be enough, at least for the time being. When you run out of time and the consequence for non-completion of a key task or project can be really serious, you always need to find the time to get it done, often at the very last minute, when you have no choice, when the consequence for non-completion completion are serious enough. You start early, you stay late, and you drive yourself to complete the job rather than to face the unbusiness uh, that would follow if you didn't get it completed and within the time limit. Rule: there will never be enough time to do everything you have to do. It has been estimated that the average person is in business uh, today, especially managers in the age of cutbacks, is working at 110% to 130% of capacity, and the jobs and personalities just keep piling up. Everyone has stacks of reading material that they still have to go through. When a study concluded recently that the average executive has 300, 400 hours of reading and projects backlogged at home and at the office. What is the means is that you will never be caught up. Get that wonderful idea of your mind. You can hope for is to be on top of your most important responsibilities that others will just have to wait. Deadlines are an excuse. Many people say that they work better under the pressure of deadlines. Unfortunately, years of research indicate that this is seldom true. Under the pressure of deadlines, often create through procrastination and delay. People suffer a greater stress, make more mistakes, and have to do more tasks than under any other conditions. Often the mistakes that are made when people are working under tight deadlines lead to defects and cost overruns that lead to substantial financial losses in the long term. Sometimes the job actually takes much longer to complete when people rush to get the job done at the last minute and they have to redo it. It is much better to plan your time carefully in advance and build in a sizable buffer to compensate for unexpected delays and diversions. However much time you think a task will take, add on another 20% or more. or make a game of getting it done well in advance of the deadline. You will be amazed at how much more relaxed you are and how much better a job you do. 3 questions for maximum productivity. There are the 3 questions that you can use on a regular basis to keep yourself focused and getting your most important tasks complete on schedule. The first question is, what are my highest value activities? Put another way, what are the biggest frogs that you have to eat to make the greatest contribution on your organization, to your family, to your life in general? This is one of the most important questions you can ask and answer. What are your highest value activities? First, think this through for yourself. Then, as your boss, as your co-workers and subordinates, as your friends and family, like focusing the lens of a camera, you must be crystal clear about your highest value activities before you begin work. The second question you can ask continually is, what can I and only I do that if done well will make a real difference? This question comes from Peter Drucker, the management guru. It is one of the best of all questions for achieving personal effectiveness. What can you and only you do that is done well can make a real difference? This is find something that only you can do. If you don't do it, it won't be done by someone else. But if you do it and you do it well, it can really make a difference to your life and your career. What is the particular frog for you? Every hour of every day, you can ask yourself these questions and there will be a specific answer. Your job is to be clear about the answer and then to start and work on these tasks before anything else. The third questions you can ask is, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? What is my biggest frog of all at this moment? This is a core question of time management. Answering this question correctly is the key to overcoming procrastination and becoming a highly productive person. Every hour of every day, there is some task that is the most valuable use of your time at the moment. Your job is to ask yourself these questions over and over again, and to always be working on the answer to it. Whatever it is, do first and second things not at all. As God said, the things that matter must never be at the mercy of the things that matter is. The more accurate your answers to these questions, the easier it will be for you to see clear priorities, to overcome procrastination, and to get started on that one activity that represents the most valuable use of your time. Eat the frog. 1. Review your list of tasks, activities, and projects regularly. Continually ask yourself, which one project or activity, if I did it in an excellent and timely fashion, will have the greatest positive consequence in my work or personal life? 2. Determine the most important things you could be doing every hour of every day, and then discipline yourself to work continually on the most valuable use of your time. What is this for you right now? Whatever it is that can help you the most, set it as a goal, make a plan to achieve it, and go to work on your plan immediately. Remember the wonderful words of God. Just begin, and the mind grows ahead. Continue, and the task will be completed.